Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Season 2 of NFAPod. My name is Zaga, and this season, we have new people. Our old co-host, not here anymore, and I have two new co-hosts. One you already know, and one you guys don't. So this episode, guys, no guests. We're going to do a little introduction and let you guys get to know the new co-hosts here. So the first one, to the fans out there, you guys know as our wife. My wife, Ellie. Babe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hey guys, how's it going?
And the second one is a buddy I've been on his show. He's been on my old show. If you guys were fans of A to Z, Nick, aka the Oklahomie. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Just trying to withstand the Oklahoma heat and the stickiness right now.
Yeah, it's pretty warm here. It's 85, but we were in the sun most of the day today. So today's episode, not officially, but it really is, brought to you by Prime Energy Drinks, because we're old and we need to drink more of these. Oklahomie's not part of the crew. He's drinking a beer, I think.
Yeah, it's
Wearing any NFAPod merch either, so like he's just
it's a ranch Rita. Instead of probably buying this beer, I probably should have bought merch instead.
At least you're honest. But honestly, the ranch Ritas, those are really good. The ranch water is really good too.
I've never had ranch Rita until now, and I bought the variety pack, and this is absolutely I had the spicy one, and it was actually it was really fucking good. And then the ranch Rita, just the margarita style, is just like.
Well, I guess I'm going for a walk to the liquor store later.
So yes, guys, I've added a ton of new merch. Me and Ellie are actually going to have our own show soon. Babe, you want to tell me a little bit about the show we're going to be coming out with?
So the show that we're going to be doing, it's going to be called I Hate It Here, because that's kind of just my catchphrase. And with the show that we're going to be going through, we're going to be talking a lot about the trials and tribulations we face as millennial.
She froze there, so.
Couple. Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but your face was frozen. You were stuck in the
Matrix.
Nice. But yeah, so we're just going to be discussing like some of the issues that we face as a millennial couple, and then current events, comedy stuff, relationship advice,
stuff like that. A lot of relationship stuff, because that's pretty much what we got to talk about. Because
it's our shtick.
Yeah, people use us as like the people say we're goals. So I figure we have the right to talk about it.
That's going to actually be a really good avenue for you guys, because if you go through TikTok, a lot of couples are doing couples podcasts, and they're taking off very well because people are looking for relationship advice. So especially obviously not toxic couples that have a good dynamic and stuff like that. So if you want toxic couples, you got to go find RIP to Jerry Springer, but now you got to go find
Maury. You watch Maury.
You got to watch Maury, but you got to go find those shows.
There's so much trash on Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil is trash, but that's
facts.
Neither here nor there. But yeah, couples podcasts are taking off. They're doing very, very well. Like, I follow a couple of them on TikTok, and I've learned some stuff about myself. So yeah, more power to you guys. I look forward to tuning into that and
so we're gonna be very blunt about shit. We're gonna be like, don't stick your dick in other women, guys.
You would think that's common sense.
That's a cardinal rule of number one, unspoken agreement.
True. That's true. So this week, I'm pretty much going to be absent. I'm not going to be talking too much this episode. This episode is really going to be all about my co-hosts, because y'all know about me. My face is plastered. You Google Hey Zaga, I'm all over the place. So y'all know me, but y'all don't know them. So who wants to go first? That's the real question here.
Nick go first.
I'll rock, paper, scissors with you for it.
All right, let's go.
Wait, are we doing 2 out of 3 or what?
2 out of 3.
No, just one and done. One and done for the show.
Oh.
Fine.
All right.
Gonna make a good one. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Fuck.
You go first.
Nick's first. Go ahead, buddy.
Damn it. Okay. Well, like Zaga said, I've been on his previous podcast, A to Z. And he has been on mine when it once was your friendly neighborhood Oklahomie, but being the unlogical man that I am, Zaga talked me into rebranding it and making it simpler and not such word vomit onto a podcast. And so what it came to be and what it is now is Notoriously Nerdy, which I'm very bad about doing episodes on my own. It is a solo podcast. I'm probably in the process of leaving said podcast and just focusing on this because this is a lot easier having two other people on here that are not even guests, and then even easier when we have guests. But
it's also a lot easier when like I do a lot of the work for this shit.
And I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, that's pretty much that is a selling point. But other than that, I'm just your common like 30-year-old that's getting in touch with his inner child that apparently was abused and forgotten, neglected as growing up, and which no, my I love my parents to death. Were there some moments that probably triggered a lot of the inner child that got neglected? Yes, but
how does that make you feel?
Okay, therapy session. Nice, I love this.
I need my notebook.
I just need like eating blots now.
We can make it happen.
I can get some.
No, but I'm just like your average, like I said, 30-year-old that's into comics, that are just getting into comics. I watch a bang load of Marvel movies.
You can curse on our show. You know that. Say fuck, shit, ass, bitch, cunt. It's fine.
You sound like Blink 182, and I love it. But anyways, I watch a fuck ton of like Marvel shows, Marvel movies. I go to premiere dates. I watch. So I have a thing for spoilers because the internet is ruthless. And for the simple fact of, so on Wednesdays, like when shows come out, I wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the episode to avoid all spoilers.
Why wouldn't you just stay off the internet for the day?
Because I'm 30 years old and I have ADHD, so the internet is like a go-to.
We are millennials. We live on the internet. That's what we do.
Do you understand? I put all my problems on the internet for validation, but I say I don't want validation just to seek validation.
I don't understand that. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, that might be some kind of like trauma like that we need to just discuss later on. But
it sounds like you need. Actually, I'm sorry. This episode is not brought to you by Prime Energy Drinks. It is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you need help, go get it online at BetterHelp.
Hey, Logic said it. Logic put it out there. Logic had that whole help hotline, the 1-800.
So, fun fact, actually, in Mental Health Awareness Month, Logic gave away free 4 sessions of therapy on BetterHelp.com.
And that is why that man is the GOAT.
He really is. He just be looking out for his fans.
I've seen him talk about, or when people said, "Oh, I can't afford your concert" and stuff like that, he has replied back, and it's not just his media team; it's actually him making a video like, "Okay, you can't afford that. Here, I'm going to pay your rent. Here's 2 VIP tickets. We're going to send you a car to pick you up to the show, and then you're getting a meet and greet." Like, what you find any other artist on this planet that does that? There's maybe like 5.
Yeah. Grammy-nominated artist, nonetheless. Not just an artist, a Grammy-nominated artist.
There you go.
We actually last season we talked a lot about Logic with I think it was Lucas Home we talked about it with. And I was actually on a podcast called the Notes McGoats podcast where we talked about a whole Logic album. Honestly though, the guy's he's a G. He pulled a prank on a fan at a show just the other day, and he put it on fucking TikTok where he had the fan think that he was in trouble, brought him to the back, and he said, "I'm going to give you as much merch as you can hold, and you're going to come hang out with us at the after the show."
It doesn't happen in any other show.
Nope.
No, absolutely not.
So what should the fans expect from you? Because our show, and you guys, both of you obviously know about the show. We ask weird questions. We bring different personalities. What is going to be your shtick to this?
My shtick? I mean, I would say I could bring like a nerdy aspect of it, but I mean, I know Zaga alone does that on his own. So like, that's another reason why he and I have gotten along over the years. And so I don't know. I'm a big conspiracy theorist, and I do have like I said, the ADHD kind of goes through. So with this being nobody fucking asked, a lot of random questions do roll through my head, like on the daily. Like I have inner conversations and like staff meetings with myself. So to put those out into the world when like there's guests and stuff like that is going to be really fun. And also to break out of the little plateau I was on where when I did my podcast, I was talking to myself. And so to have actual feedback and to maybe kind of control when I say stuff is going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah. I've never been part of a 3-person podcast before. I've always just had one co-host. So this is going to be fun. It's going to take us some time. So people out there just deal with us because you're trying to learn our dynamic, our tells when we're going to talk and shit like that.
Usually relationships like this are frowned upon.
Yeah.
No, we're not. No.
Episode 1 of the relationship podcast. We
You
are
two are brother
not polyamorous.
What'd you say, Ann?
You two are brother husbands.
It could be like off the bear. Cousin.
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to circle back to that.
No, chef.
No, chef? Get the fuck off my station, sir. Get the fuck off my station.
All right. So we got a little bit of taste of what you're going to be bringing, what you're going to be doing on the show. So you're going to be bringing more of I'm assuming you're going to be more of the movie person that we're going to bring up. And definitely the nerd. You're more nerdy. You're a little more nerdy than me because you actually buy comics and read them. I don't read comics. I collect them.
No, I don't read them. I collect them because I'm trying to eventually flip them.
Same.
But I also do have the Marvel Unlimited app on my phone, so there's no point to me reading hard copies.
You read comics
on occasion.
The fact that you read automatically makes you a nerd.
Yeah, see, I don't read.
I graduated and got an entire bachelor's degree without reading a single one of my textbooks.
Look, if I could get the comics in an audio fashion, I would. But the fact that comics have to be read to see the pictures, because
yeah, the pictures are kind of the most important part of the comic.
Those only kind of books I want to read are ones with pictures.
So there's actually a TikTok where they go through the slides of the comic and they give you a basic idea of what went on in this entire series versus doing they'll actually read a comic and then they'll do voiceovers for it. So they're giving you like an audiobook. I don't know what the TikTok channel is. It just pops up on my For You page. I probably should follow them, but I don't. So
get them on the
No.
podcast.
No, and by the way, y'all motherfuckers out there that don't respond to me, rude. It is just rude. A simple no thank you, simple my schedule was a little too tight would do. Leaving me on red, fuck you. Fuck you and all your shit. And the people that have been on our show or are going to be on our show, y'all, the real goats and deserve to be more famous than any of these motherfuckers.
And just so everyone knows, everyone that has not replied to Zaga, if they've reached out, just know that I'm going to hit you with the 1-2 because I'm coming into your inbox next.
We're sliding into them DMs.
Oh, yeah.
Real nasty like.
No, if you're lucky and I think I like you, I might spit on it before I slide in. But other than that, it's just going to be straight right in.
Ellie's uncomfortable.
I don't want to be husbands anymore. I'm scared.
I'm in danger.
Help!
All right. So we got a little bit about the Oklahomie. And again, if you guys didn't watch the very last episode, of season 1, you didn't really know about, if you didn't listen to it, well, now's your time. You don't have to go back and listen to it because she's going to give you a rundown about who she is, what she brings, and, what it's like being my wife.
Being my wife is just, a trip. It's fucking joy. Every day is a new adventure. Every day is a new inconvenience.
ADHD makes for exciting days out.
Like a GoPro, and you could make your own YouTube series. Okay, well then strap it to your chest and just go.
I've been actually trying to get better about taking videos of us when we're out in public because Tony just does the most random shit and it's so funny. And I never get it on tape and it's so annoying.
I'll just walk by a mannequin and just fondle it because why not?
Yeah, he just walks by a mannequin, reaches up, grabs a titty.
It's true. Yeah. I just do stupid shit. I don't know. I don't care. But babe, please take the floor.
So I'm Ellie, Zaga's wife. If you guys didn't watch last season's last episode, I was on. And so to give you a little bit of a recap, I was raised entirely too religious, definitely in a cult environment. So lots of religious trauma and background from that. In addition to that, I was also homeschooled. So basically, I was raised in the middle of nowhere in bumfuck Massachusetts. And didn't know anybody, was extremely socially awkward. So I joined the military and spent 10 years in the military, saw a lot of cool shit, went to college, got a useless degree. I worked for Lego for a hot minute, like the Lego. So that was cool. Um, and then come to find out, I have a useless college degree that will not help me with anything. So I'm going back to college and getting another degree for what I did in the military for 10 years. So that's cool. But yeah, so I guess kind of what I bring to the table is just like that female perspective. And also, I'm really funny, like really funny. So,
It's true. It's how she got me to swipe right on Tinder.
Is that how y'all met?
oh yeah, we met on Tinder.
That's awesome.
His profile said, if you like Chipotle and dad bod, swipe right. And I do, in fact, love Chipotle.
And dad bods. But now I don't have a dad bod because your boy's 20 pounds down. Let's go.
You went from a Chipotle dad bod to a Chipotle daddy.
Yep. I'm like fucking Pedro Pascal, just like 10 years younger.
Don't.
So, babe, you started talking about the living in like a cult and all that stuff. And for those who didn't listen to that last episode, can you elaborate a little more about what kind of was going on with that? And if I don't know if you want to talk more about it or whatnot, but
Absolutely. So in the environment I was raised in, we typically went to Pentecostal and Southern Baptist church, but churches. And we bounced around from church to church because my parents' religious ideals never quite matched up to what the church's ideals were for wherever we were at that time. So we were getting constantly kicked out of church for being too religious. So if people have heard of the IFB or the Mormon church, that more similarly,
wow, you just fucked me up.
similarly,
Oklahoma, help us out here.
Nope. I'm saying it in my head. Nope. I've already tried. Similarities?
yeah. So the IFB and the Mormon church have more similarities to how I was raised and grew up than the Baptist church typically does. And then, I was that stereotypical story of like, I had a promise ring and my parents were trying to get me to marry Christ. Like I was supposed to be betrothed to the Christ because that's what we're supposed to do. It's all kinds of weird and messed up.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you said that you were your family was kicked out of a church for being, and I quote, too religious. How does
Yes.
that? I've never heard in my entire life that someone has been kicked out of church because they were too religious. I've been kicked out of my grandmother's church because I told the Sunday school teacher that I'd rather talk to Satan than talk to her because she cut me off. And that's one thing, but I've never heard of anyone being kicked, like banned from a church because they were too religious.
So, most churches have like pretty standard guidelines for how they expect their congregation to operate. So like, don't be a dickhead. Don't murder people. Don't lie. Don't have affairs. Like, just be a
10 commandments.
Yeah, like it's not that hard. And then there's my family. And then it just kind of spirals. So like my parents were so strict, we had to make our own clothes because the clothes at the stores were not modest. We had to learn how to grow our own food because my parents were convinced that the government was going to try and take us away because there were 6 of us living in a small house. It's crazy, crazy, crazy nonsense. And like growing up in the house that I did, it was just absolutely insane. Like between all of the manual crazy labor we had to do from like young children. Like I've been doing manual labor since I was 7 years old and I'm the second oldest of 6. And then, so when my parents would get confronted about that at the churches or confronted about how they raise their kids, things would get heated. And that's when my parents would end up getting ultimately kicked out of the church because the churches never agreed with how they raised us.
That's insane. I've never, like I said, in my life, I've never heard anything like that. So that's eye-opening for me.
Well, so actually, most churches they don't call it being kicked out of a church. They call it shunning somebody. So if you're kicked out of a church or shunned, people who are known mostly for that are mostly the Amish church. Like if you leave the Amish community, nobody talks to you forever.
Well, but what about Rumspringer?
So Rumspringer is different. Everybody gets a Rumspringer. And again, that's strictly Amish. But everybody gets a Rumspringer when you're Amish, but it's when you come back from Rumspringer, if you decide to be part of the church and then change your mind, that's when you can get shunned. If you decide to not become part of the church and do it the correct way, then you're not necessarily shunned, but you're not fully accepted into the community.
I just get kicked out of Catholic school for throwing coloring books at nuns, so.
Yeah, well, that'll happen.
Nick, why do you not look surprised that I said those words?
I mean, hell, I just said, like, I got kicked out of my grandmother's Sunday school because I told the teacher that I would rather speak to the devil than talk to her because she cut me off. Because she was trying to quiet everyone. I was like, well, I would rather talk to Satan than talk to you. And she's like, okay, come on. Took me to grandmother and they said, don't ever bring him back. But the funny part is that even though they kicked me out, they still send me birthday cards to wish me happy birthday.
Well, they still cared about you. They just didn't want your negative influence on the rest of the children.
Well,
clearly they were trying to pray the devil out of you.
Look how well that went.
I mean, I'm a Satan. You're partners with a Satanist now. Now look at it.
Oh, I knew that from the get-go.
A Satanist and a witch. Now you're doing everything that the church doesn't want you to do.
It's true.
I will.
Way to stick it to them, Nick. Like it.
Solidarity.
Really stick it to the man.
So, babe, like I asked Nick here, what are you going to be bringing to the table for this show? Because obviously, like I said, we all have our own little shtick. I'm an asshole. We all know that I am an asshole. I am going to roast everybody on the show all the time. Every guest, you guys, every week, something I'm going to be making burns on everybody. So what is your, Nick's the nerd. I'm the asshole. What are you?
Different perspectives to the table. Obviously, I am a female. So with that, I bring the feminine perspective, which I think this show desperately needed. And then in addition to that, I'm a huge murder doc person, closet nerd. So definitely into comic books, Marvel, all the things, but not so much as probably Oklahomie or you, Tony. But yeah, I don't know. I think
Zaga. My name is fucking Zaga. You know that shit.
You can't use his government name.
No government's on this thing for me.
You keep saying my name.
Because you don't have. What do you want me to call you? Me Sparkle?
You're supposed to call me Babe.
Your internet name is Babe?
My internet name is Babe.
Like the pig?
Nobody puts baby in it. Wait, wow, Anthony.
No, like the movie.
You just called me a pig.
No, you want me to call you that. You want
me a pig.
You want me to call you a pig's name. And I refuse to call you a pig's name on this show.
Babe every 5 seconds.
I'm going to call you Honey.
I don't like honey.
Honey is sweet.
No, Uncle Copper calls me Honey.
You can still call her Babe because you can think of the Labyrinth.
I've never seen the Labyrinth.
Get the fuck out.
All right, Nick, this is our show now. We are taking over.
I'll hide in the background, be producer. That's fine. This is a pain in the ass.
Jesus.
I cannot believe you've never seen the Labyrinth.
That's
iconic David Bowie.
I'm actually shocked you haven't seen it, Zaga, to be honest with you.
I'm kind of upset.
It's not my thing. And fun fact, I've never seen the Never-Ending Story.
I will fly to New York and put my foot up your sweaty asshole.
Well, you're going to have to walk a bit because we don't live in New York. Joke's on you.
That's fine. I needed to visit New York anyway, so I'll find out.
That's all right. I'll come pick you up. I got you, Nick.
There we go.
So go ahead. Y'all continue y'all show. That's all on you. We got 20 more minutes. Y'all talk. Go ahead. Do your thing.
But yeah, I think the three of us bringing all the different perspectives that we have, because I think we all come from very, very different walks of life. Tony, what is that you just pulled out?
I am checking how much marijuana I have left, and I'm very sad because there's not much left.
Well, sorry for your inconveniences.
So I talked to Zaga about it when he pitched this idea for me to be a co-host on the new show, like because he's revamping it and whatnot. And he pitched it so well at first, like it was a great opener, but he sucked at closing because he opened it up with, "Hey, you and I get along on a podcast. We have similarities and stuff like this, yada yada yada." He's like, "You have an accent," and then proceeded to like zoom past it like it was nothing. And I wanted to circle back. I'm like, "What do you mean an accent?" So every viewer that hears this, if you could give feedback on what accent, if one is even there, I want to know what it is. Oh, I said the people listening.
We're listening.
I'm listening to you talk.
You guys don't count. You're biased.
So,
My life matters too, Nick.
Do what?
My life matters too.
Not at this moment.
Not at this moment. So the best part is on Spotify, I can actually put a weekly poll. And this week's poll is, does Oklahomie have an accent or not? And I 100% telling you, you're going to get a yes. And I'm gonna make the question a TikTok. Does Oklahomie have? Hold on, I'm doing this for TikTok. This is for the TikTok. So everyone, shh. Does Oklahomie have an accent or does he not? That's the real question.
And on another note, Zaga is still the only person that I know that calls me the Oklahomie, which it's not a bad thing, but I thought I steered away from the name, but for the fact of
sorry. It's got a nice ring to it.
It does. And so that's why like on my TikTok it says the, and it has like the two little like star signs for like to emphasize the and it says Oklahomie. So like
you're like, now, I am the only one. It's me.
Well, I mean, I even have a shirt that says Oklahomie. So like, I mean, which I got from my friend's store from back home, but it kind of worked. So I'm like, now that it gets pitched, because I even tried like to ditch the name and go with like just my regular name, which is Nick. Zaga was like, no, we're gonna go with Oklahomie. Okay, well, I guess my opinion doesn't matter anymore.
You don't get to pick your name.
No, you're a co-host, but you have no stock options.
Not a single one.
Yeah,
so right. I don't either.
Listen,
our base of operations is my house, so it's even better.
See, like the thing is like I know what my role is here. I'm the ringleader. I just find a way to put this shit together. It's and true. Then what happens? And the reason why I call you Oklahomie is because I spent about 3.5 hours drawing this picture of you.
Yeah.
And you are the friendly neighborhood Oklahomie. And for those at home who can't see it, there it is. That's his contact profile picture for me. When he calls me or texts me, that's what comes up. It is Spider-Man with his face.
It was really good, even though it was a mouthful of words. But like I said, when I did my intro and kind of gave you guys a rundown, I talked to Zaga, I pitched the idea, and originally this was what was put, which is Notoriously Nerdy. This was the original design. Well, then when I decided I was going to redo my podcast and revamp it, he did give me another design, which has like a 9 Inch Nails vibe, and the colors are still good. Which I made business cards about this.
That's crisp.
It is crisp.
Crispy, right?
It's crispy. And what sucks is that I made these business cards, and the fact that I'm contemplating on the fence of leaving my podcast to do this because it's a lot easier.
Nah, keep it. No, keep like that as your brand name.
But I don't do the podcast.
So
your TikTok
that's still your brand name.
Your TikTok is your Notoriously Nerdy now.
Yeah.
Even though there's not a lot of nerdy shit on there, it's pretty much just like shit posting. But I like where this is going, and I'm already kind of sold on it. So yeah.
Yeah, just keep the business cards. It looks dope.
See, I made that problem too because A to Z Pod, I originally ordered 150 stickers. I've ordered a bunch of business cards, and then I canceled the whole show, like literally 2 weeks after they came in the mail. Now, for those at home too, just so you guys know, if you guys want to get one of these wonderful bracelets with these. Yeah, you can see it right here. It has the logo on it. It says nobody fucking asked. You can shoot us a DM. And odds. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably just get you something. Oh, we lost Ellie on the video. We can still hear her, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Nick, camera's on you. Start talking. Yourself or something. I don't know. Ellie's gonna talk to you, and then I'm gonna go fix her camera. So you're gonna keep talking, and then we're gonna do this.
Oh, so we're still live. Okay.
Yeah. So I would just like to know whose idea was it to get the Elgato cameras? Because clearly
Ooh, I would
we've
love
just
to
been
answer that.
having
Let me raise my hand because I would love to answer this question.
we've having nothing but issues.
I will take who is Zaga for 500, Ellie?
That sounds about right.
Awesome.
I would like to know who put him in charge because it wasn't me. Actually, I guess it kind of was because I kind of got him like the setup start.
I mean, well, at least you're taking accountability because him being on his own probably would not be the best thing because then there would just, like he says, the ADHD kicks in, and the next thing you know, you have a llama, an alpaca, and a whole petting zoo in your backyard.
I wish we had a whole petting zoo in our backyard, though. I've been trying to get him to let me get some chickens for a while, and he keeps saying no, even though Tractor Supply has them for very reasonable prices.
Why would you be not for getting chickens in the backyard?
Well,
That
his thing
provides
is,
eggs, and then if the chicken doesn't provide the eggs, then you just eat the chicken.
yeah, you would think, except apparently, according to him, our dog Leia is going to eat the chickens, and I don't think she would do such a thing.
Well, that's why you put the chickens in a high coop.
Yeah, I could build that.
And then when you have the chickens roaming free, just make sure that the dog's not out there.
I mean, it sounds simple enough to me, honestly.
Well, we got her back. Fixed it.
I
I'm
see that.
pasty white, but, we're here.
Just turn off the light behind you.
There is no light behind me.
You have a light on in the kitchen.
Head toward the light.
There's a light in front of me, but not behind me.
Yeah, the one in front of you. Put it up. Just turn it off. Very easy. Just unplug it. Just pull it. Yank it.
Plug.
Pull the plug. Kill it. Murder. Oh, this episode is so ridiculous. I love it. The best part.
Oh, there you go.
Now you're like super
Spooky.
fuzzy. Hold on. I got to fix her again. Nick, you're talking to yourself again. Welcome to your old show.
Damn it. This is where the trauma started.
It's all started right here.
It didn't necessarily start with my own podcast, but just because I mean, ironically, I did have a second.
For those watching at home, I just got blinded. Zog came out to the kitchen, which is where I'm stationed, to mess with the lights, and he just turned them on and blinded me. It was very eventful.
That's a flashbang right there.
It really was.
Fucking Call of Duty just hit her.
Oh, look, I have symmetry and face shape now. I'm not just a white blob.
Or pixely.
Or pixely. Like we said, everybody listening, watching, chilling at home, we're trying to work out the technical difficulties. You just got to grind it out with us.
This shit's happening live. There's no reason why it's not going to happen live. And we're going to figure the fucking shit out. And I'm sure it's comical for you guys. And at some point, I'm sure we'll all be live on TikTok and the same shit will happen. So.
Oh yeah. It'll eventually, it'll pour over from TikTok to Instagram. And if we ever get like a wild hair, it'll be Facebook. But Facebook is poor and just kind of just bland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, back to you, honey. You know, you can keep talking about yourself, about what you bring and all that stuff.
There's not much more to talk about. I think we pretty much covered it all. I'm bringing the more feminine, super gay perspective. Nick is bringing in the super nerdy perspective. You're just an asshole. And together, we are in this ride, and we're just figuring it out.
We are NFAPod.
We really are.
And we are what nobody ever fucking asked for. But yet.
It's your nightmares.
And guys, don't worry. Nick talking about his trauma and stuff, we are gonna circle that shit back. Probably very soon. And I promise you that conversation is gonna happen. This episode. Well, it's happening on this show.
I've gone to so many therapists, I could give you therapy for free.
Hey, you know what? If it's within my health insurance, let's go.
Let's get it.
I'm just an asshole, and I'm going to ask questions that make you uncomfortable. Just show me on the doll. Show me on the doll. Just show me.
Where did
on the door.
Zaga hurt you? Where did Zaga hurt you?
Where did they poke you?
Emotionally.
Where was tickle time, Nick? Where was tickle time? That's turning into the profile picture for our episode.
On that note, I think we could start to wrap up this first episode.
Yes, I think you guys have learned what this show is going to be like. Plenty of issues, but we're going to try to work through them. Eventually, everyone will be on fucking $600 mics and will beautiful fucking photography cameras, and everything will be crystal clear. We just need you fuckers to support us, share us, like us, rate us, fondle us, whatever you got to do. The typical.
Tickles your fancy.
Or whatever you're willing to tickle on us.
Ooh.
I don't condone. I don't consent.
Nick's like,
In
don't
danger."
touch me.
Nick's having flashbacks. No, not again.
I feel like I've been
Doing a
thinking,
1,000-yard stare straight into knob.
So, guys, thank you so much for listening to the episode. This is a very, very short one. I promise you, we're going to have great episodes coming up. We have a special guest lined up in our episodes here. His name is Carlos Jimenez. He is from the show 60 Days In. We also got some big news that's gonna come from that as well. Not gonna release that information now because y'all gotta tune in next week to find out what the fuck it's about. On that note, I'm out. Peace.
Later, y'all.
get fucked.
Wow. That's how you say goodbye to them on the first episode, Nick. Wow.
I know.
Say goodbye properly. Say goodbye to the fans properly.
So long, farewell, Avita, say goodbye.
See, I was gonna go with so long, farewell to you, my friend.
Yeah, no.
You don't remember that one? That's out of the box, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's fair.
I didn't want to go for that one.
No, that was out of the box.
It was out of the box.
Babe, you were homeschooled. You can't talk about these shows.
I was gonna say they didn't have that on the Amish farm.
Well, now the show's over. Adios.